Welcome, roguelike fans and the Doors of Truthius players. I thought it was time for an update video. And I think moving forward, I'm going to try to do regular short updates on this channel. I think that actually makes more sense. And then on the website, it'll be the more in-depth blogs. And yeah, so I'm trying to keep this short, we'll see. And I've got a few topics here to cover. Starting off with the Steam sale. So we just came out of the Steam summer sale. Thank you so much to all the players who bought in on the game, who are willing to give it a chance. Because I know for a lot of players, early access is a risk, and it is a risk because people have been burned, projects kind of being abandoned, or not getting finished, or they don't end up being what you wanted. But I really do appreciate the support, people getting in early, and that's partly why I want to make these update videos, just to show players the seriousness behind this project, that it isn't going to be abandoned, that I'm very serious about the vision and the roadmap and getting it to that 1.0 release date. So yeah, thank you to all the new players. One in particular I want to give a shout out to, which is the streamer 0FX. So you can see he did a playthrough here. He's uploaded a few videos to his channel. This one is the Doors of Truthius roguelike spotlight number 9. That's 0FX. And I think this is a great showcasing of the game. He's very generous, very friendly. He had a lot of good things to say and a lot of good feedback. I really appreciate that stream, 0FX. So anyone looking for a streamer who's playing Doors of Truthius and mentions he'll be playing it on the new major updates, this would be someone to check out. Okay, recent patches. So, I forget where I was for the last update video. There's been quite a few. We've got the big one. The big one here was enchanting, then monster traits, and then chivalry and athletics. So this new skill work came quite quickly after, and these updates might seem like they're jumping around a bit. What I wanted to say was there's a method to this madness, and there's other features I really want to work on, but they rely on other elements being in place. So that's kind of why enchanting had to be there, for example, because the new dungeons are going to the new temple dungeons relate to enchanting. And with monster traits, this is gearing up for some upgrades to the bosses and some more interesting mechanics. There had to be a way to make that visual. So here you can see, when you click a monster now, you can see these traits. And if I want to add powerful effects to monsters, I realized there had to be a way to make it visual. So that was, first we're adding the visual element, the ability to inspect monsters. And now that's making room for some later updates. It's kind of like a web. Like there's all this stuff I really want to do in the roadmap. And the thing for me is trying to make, I have a paint here I want to show. I want to show something in the process, give some sense to how I'm thinking about it and how updates are coming. So let's say we have a chart here, and I just don't want to get that covered up by the text here. The bottom is time, and we'll say this is the fun or content in the game, the amount of fun / content, or how good the game is. Okay, so here's one way of thinking about it is I want the game to be as fun as it can with as much content. Okay, but at what time? Because here's the thing. Sometimes I can do a quick update. It'll make something a little better, and we'll do a jump, but it kind of hits a wall, and then we'll be stuck. It'll slow down because it's not planned in relation to the future. So imagine like a fun update, like a new ability, but it's not balanced. It's not going to be cohesive with upcoming content. And so it jumps up your fun, but it adds a lot to the game, but long term it's not. And I really want to be clear. My way of thinking of this, I'm trying to reach the max. So if I have a choice between an excellent update that I can get out in a week, the players are going to love, but it's going to slow down and not slow down the game longer term, versus a update that maybe doesn't make sense right now, but long term is going to fit into the piece, I always choose long term. I'm going for something like this. Here's our curve. It's when we reach that version 1 release or wherever that is, I'm aiming for this. This is the vision. There's this stream game, and I want to get it there. So sometimes on the way there, it's going to be like a little like this, which is why I really appreciate the early access players willing to give it a chance, because it is some patches it will be a little wonky. But I'm telling you, I'm not going to what's the phrase? I'm not going to cheap out. I'm not going to go for some little gains that maybe are like make the code bad and are going to cause problems, because just to get like a little push there, you have to build on a strong foundation. So that's sort of the thinking, and that leads me into the next topic I want to talk about quests. If we're just looking at the game and what's on my mind recently, I think the big thing that it needs right now is far better quests. So if you look here, we've got dynamic quests, and those are automatically generated quests. And there's like 6 of them in the game. They're not that good. They're really basic. They're like fetch quests. And I think they're actually a turnoff for some players because they players who play and they're not as self-guided, they're not going and exploring the caves and exploring the world. They just want a quest to lead them. And if they do that, they're going to get a bad experience right now because the quests aren't that good. And I could add just a bunch more okay ones, but I don't want to do that. Because I have something more in planned. So why this is sort of waiting is I'm trying to get I'm trying to get some more content, like some the wilderness danger, so danger can relate to quests. The temple dungeons, so the new dungeons can relate to quests. If we look at the blog, the new mountain biome, so there can be quests relating to this. So quests are kind of not that good right now, and I totally admit it, but I'm not. I don't want to take too much of a shortcut. So when the content is there, when the foundation is there, then I'm so excited to start plopping in quests that are more in line with my vision for the game and what I think it should be. Last topic. I'm already at 6 minutes. It's hard to make a short video. It's really hard. It's so easy to talk. Last thing I want to talk about is a new version 1.0 goal date. So that's just okay. The 1.0 goal date is just a date to try to give players a sense. See, we're at 0.43, so that's me saying, okay, I think we're like approaching half-ish. The thing is, ideally, I would want to work on this game for years. I would love to. There's so much I think I could put in. There's so much room in the world. But in terms of like the main story and the absolute necessity, important content and skills, it's important to set a date. Players want to know. They want a date. So I've actually, if you read this, I've increased it to May. I might actually bump that up another month. January, February, March, April, May. That's 5 months, maybe June. So mid-2023 is the 1.0 goal date. And that was me realizing, like looking at our current pace, it's really good. There's going to be a lot of content by the end of the year. But the main quest line is going to take some real work and polish. And I've written out a whole plot and script, and the scenes are all in the work, and there's concept art, and it's gonna have music and boss fights. So I've never done something of this scope in terms of programming, and I want to make sure I get it right. All the triggers, all the events, the characters, the story. That's why that's saying I'm bumping it up 6 months, because I want to do the main quest right. So. I mean, am I hitting my deadlines? Oh, I think so. I think if you look how fast some of the content's been coming out, I think the game's pretty on it. It's at a really good pace right now. I'm like as motivated as I've ever been, but we got to get that the main quest has to be correct for it to be. It has to be in there for a 1.0 release. So that's sort of my thinking right now. That's kind of what I want to talk about in this video. Don't want to make it too long. I will see you next week, most likely. Thank you so much for watching. It's the Doors of Trithius.